It is happening. It is finally happening. We are about to see Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page reunite in AEW. Finally, possibly teaming up. This is a story that I've been saying for the longest time needs to happen for both characters' development and for both of these characters to go back to the world title scene. You see, Hangman and Swerve have never been the same since their feud that ultimately ended at All Out 2024. What started as just two inevitable paths crossing to get to the AEW World Championship ended up resulting in a home invasion. It ended up resulting in a house being burnt to the ground. It ended up resulting in syringes to the mouth and a chair shot heard around the world. And when the dust settled, the aftermath was two men scarred, both physically and emotionally, from what they had done to each other. You can see it in Hangman's eyes after All Out. He had just obliterated his arch nemesis with a chair, and while his soul is remorseful, he knows that he cannot lend a helping hand because he's gone too far. After All Out, Swerve would end up taking some time off and ultimately find some feuds with Bobby Lashley and now Ricochet, while Hangman would continue to spiral and go after veterans like Jeff Jarrett and realize that his uncomposed self would result in losses to Jay White and being unable to save AEW from the Death Riders. Now they have both admitted that they are not the same person anymore. Swerve said it last week as he is forced to admit the change after Ricochet has taken the Jimmy Rave robe and threatened Nana's life. Now it's affecting others, loved ones, and he must face his path and the man that is tied to it. Hangman's side is much of the same after he ended the career of not only a legend in Christopher Daniels, but also a mentor and somebody that was reaching out to him for help as a friend. And Page cannot face the facts of the monster that he has become. That is why, just a few weeks ago, Hangman Page was looking for Swerve. The Christopher Daniels retirement has shook Hangman to his core, as he didn't realize the monster that lay dormant inside of him, but he realizes that it's not him, but he does have to kill that monster inside of him. So as he attempts to make the first move to find Swerve, he is continuously running into MJF. Now, MJF, as evil as he is not afraid to say the quiet part out loud. And he is continuously doing so, as he told Hangman Page last week that this anger, this monster of Hangman, it's not really him. And MJF brings out the guilt inside Hangman, brings out the reality that Hangman has to face when he talks about how Hangman retired Christopher Daniels. But MJF actually, he helps Hangman as well, as this week in the promo, he talks about why these fans still love him. After everything that he's done, he's burnt a man's home down. He's done horrible, horrible things to individuals. He has retired a legend. And the fans, they're still cheering him. It's almost one-to-one how Hangman felt with Swerve just a few months ago. But somebody as evil as MJF and as vindictive as MJF can bring out the good in somebody else as they realize that they're nothing like him. And Hangman says the real reason why the fans still love him and the real reason that he is still not a horrible monster, he's real. Hangman truly does know himself, and that's something that him and Christopher Daniels then discussed in the ring after the MJF promo. But Hangman is still fighting with the sins of his past. And that past is with Swerve Strickland. Hangman has taken out somebody that he loved in Christopher Daniels. Swerve has put somebody that he loves in danger because they are not the same person, and they need to fix their souls together. After the Full Gear match, after Hangman Page had drank the blood of Swerve, they said that they were bonded forever. I don't think that this was just thrown loosely. I think that it is as serious as any character making a statement. Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland are forced to run in circles until they actually look in the mirror and face the person that they hurt so much. For Hangman and Swerve to look at each other, it's like looking at the pain and hurt that you've caused somebody. It's not as easy as just regrouping, winning a couple matches, getting that title back. This is going to be a long process to remind themselves of who they are. Genuinely, I think that this might be AEW's biggest and most important story that they do in all of 2025. Personally, I think that we are probably going to get Hangman losing to MJF because as much as horrible as MJF is, he knows himself. better than Hangman knows himself at this moment. And while Hangman is going to try to find it, MJF is completely willing to use every underhanded tactic in the book to be able to beat Hangman. I believe that he will, which will result in Hangman fighting Swerve. And I actually think that we're probably going to get MJF versus Swerve, as well as Hangman will be there to save Swerve when Swerve ultimately loses to MJF as well. This also very important for MJF, just side note, because he's been in some kind of shit stories lately. He's had the Jeff Jarrett story. He just had a match, slight tiny feud with Dustin Rhodes. And then he had obviously the very bad story with Adam Cole. He needs something. He needs something real like Hangman. Swerve is real, and he can take advantage of all of this trauma and PTSD that they've given to each other to rise himself back up to the top. Now, do I think that MJF is the guy to beat Jon Moxley? No, I don't think so. I actually think that MJF is going to probably throw the biggest tantrum possible when it is actually going to be Darby Allin, somebody that he despises to his core, which will make the Darby Allin win just a little bit sweeter. Now, what is this reunion going to look like? That's what I'm really excited about, because I don't know. Is this going to be a tag team? Like, if Hangman Page and Swerve just throw out their past, they squash the beef. They said, it's kind of crazy that I broke into your home. And they're like, yeah, that scared my entire family. We had to move. And he's like, yeah, well, you also burned my house down. All right, let's call it truce. That could be the best tag team in AEW history. And we also could possibly be having this Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay team up. The tag division could be completely saved. If you had Hangman and Swerve, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, you throw in the Bucks there, right? Hurt Syndicate. Please do something more with Private Party. That's a revitalized and amazing FTR in there. That's a revitalized, amazing tag team division. Obviously, Hangman has a somewhat similar story when he was teaming up with Kenny Omega. But I think that you get to have a lot of that depth in the character that Hangman already had in that story, and you just have more and more layers of Hangman, while you also have a character like Swerve with just a shit ton of layers for all his time in AEW, and specifically the rivalry with Hangman. I think that AEW has something special here. I really do. I'm so excited to see what they end up doing. And I've seen a lot of reports saying that AEW is prioritizing storylines. I see it from this. I don't understand when people are like, oh, yeah, AEW can't tell stories. Like, the rise of Hangman Page is one of the best stories ever told. The Tony Mariah story is an amazing story. And if they are prioritizing stories, go figure, they're going to use three of their best storytellers in professional wrestling and three of the best in the company in Hangman, Swerve, and MJF. I really wonder if Ricochet also gets involved in this and we kind of see a MJF Ricochet team up while we see Hangman and Swerve. But yeah, everything that goes on with the Hangman Page character, it's almost like a fucking Kendrick song, right? Like, everything means something. So I would not be surprised in the next couple of weeks we see Ricochet once again beat Swerve, and Swerve attempt to find Hangman, and Ricochet get in his way, and we just see their paths just miss each other for a while until we can finally see them reunite, possibly team up, but they will be fixing themselves to actually change and eliminate, exercise those sins of their past. And that is going to be very compelling, not only for them as a team, but then who gets the title back? Who gets the title first? I believe it would be Hangman, but man, I'm so excited for that. Also, Swerve beat the hell out of him multiple times. Hangman only got the one win. It was an actual win because it was unsanctioned. So maybe that's finally Hangman's win. Let me know how you guys feel about this, though. I'm so excited. I don't know if you guys picked up on those kind of things. But I've certainly been thinking about this for a while, and I do think that AEW is... I have a love-hate relationship with some of their continuity and storytelling. When they're on, they are some of the best storytelling program that you can watch. But sometimes they drop the ball with it. This is just one that they can't afford to drop the ball with. And there are also maybe things that you guys have picked up on that I haven't picked up on. This also helped me out. There was somebody in my YouTube comments that was like, hey, I don't know if you saw this, but Swerve actually was talking about Hangman and put up the part where Swerve was talking about Hangman. So you guys help me just as much as I am hopefully able to entertain and inform you guys. So once again, let me know what you want to hear next about. I always look at the comments. I got a whole notebook of YouTube requests that I love doing. So thank you guys for watching. I'm super fucking excited. Are you guys excited about Hangman Swerve? I personally think it's going to be awesome. Let me know. Deuces.